Hey Rovers, buckle up because we've got some exciting Wuthering Waves leaks to dive into. If you've been eagerly awaiting new characters, fresh mechanics, and some game-changing features, you're in for a treat. Trust me, you'll want to stick around because what's coming could totally shake things up. From a powerhouse new character with an insane combat transformation to a game mode that'll push your limits, there's a lot to unpack. So let's jump right in. First up, let's talk about Zani. She's shaping up to be an absolute powerhouse, bringing heavy attack damage to the table. She's expected to drop in the first half of version 2.3, and here's the cherry on top. Phoebe might be getting a rerun in the same patch. It actually makes sense considering Zani consumes the frazzle effect, and Phoebe's abilities complement Zani perfectly. However, the Phoebe rerun in version 2.3 is still a bit questionable, so we'll have to wait for more details to confirm. If you've been saving up for some new characters, now's the time to start planning your pulls. Now, let's shift gears for a moment. Cantarella is also getting some buffs and nerfs to her kit, but since we're still in beta, there's a good chance these adjustments could change before her official release. We'll keep you updated on that. Speaking of the beta, Kuro is currently testing a brand new feature in version 2.2, the ability to disable co-op teammate VFX. What does this mean? Well, it allows you to turn off your allies' visual effects when you're playing co-op. And honestly, it's kind of hilarious. Just picture Shorekeeper in butterfly mode. Would she vanish entirely for other players? It's definitely a quirky addition, and one worth keeping an eye on. Now let's dive into Virtual Crisis, a new game mode that's similar to Babel Tower from Punishing Grey Raven. What makes Virtual Crisis unique is that there's no time limit. This means you can focus more on strategy and less on rushing through fights. Each floor offers 3 trial characters, so even newer players can jump in and not feel completely left behind. You can use the same characters across different challenges, but here's the catch. Once you use a support module, you can't reuse it. In terms of difficulty, Virtual Crisis is considered a bit easier than the Tower of Adversity when it comes to obtaining key rewards. However, if you're the type of player who loves a challenge, you can dial up the difficulty by layering on stress mechanics, which makes the fights significantly tougher. This mode is structured with a total of 11 trials, 7 crisis tests that reward you with support modules, and 4 disaster trials that determine your overall stress level. Now, if you're thinking about just brute forcing your way through, you might want to reconsider. Since there's no timer, raw damage isn't as important as survival. Take the Infernal Racers test at maximum stress level, for example. This fight is brutal. The arena constantly chips away at your health, dealing 3% of your max HP every second. There's no safety net here. You won't just be stuck at 1 horsepower, you'll die if you don't keep healing. To make things worse, half of the arena is engulfed in flames. Step into the fire, and you start accumulating a burn effect called Fusion Burst. If it stacks to 10, it triggers a massive explosion that deals an absurd amount of fusion damage. And just when you think that's enough, enemies explode upon death, dealing 50% of your max HP as area damage. Oh, and just for fun, every time you use a resonance skill, you lose 20% of your HP. Combine all of that with Infernal Racer's rapid attacks, and just staying alive becomes a serious challenge. On top of that, some characters are outright locked out of this mode. Sword, Broadblade, and Gauntlet characters can't pair with Pistols or Rectifier's characters, which forces you to rethink your team composition and strategy. You'll need to be creative if you want to make it through this one. So, who really shines in this mode? Right now, Brant and Cantarella are looking like lifesavers. Both have the ability to heal while dealing damage, making them absolutely essential for surviving these extreme conditions. Plus, their ability to fight in the air lets them avoid many of the dangers happening on the ground. And thanks to Virtual Crisis, many older echoes are making a comeback, giving players more flexibility with their builds. What's especially interesting is that protective echoes are finally seeing more use. Without the pressure of a timer, players can mix and match echoes to suit their playstyle and make the most of their support modules. At the end of the day, Virtual Crisis is designed to be accessible to all types of players. If you just want to get the rewards, you'll be able to do so without too much stress. But if you're a veteran or a whale, you'll find plenty of ways to really push your limits and show off your power. We're also getting an updated game launcher. This launcher update seems to fix the issue of having to reinstall the entire game every time a new update drops. If this is true, it would definitely be a welcome move by Kuro. Honestly, it's such a hassle to download the whole game again, especially when it exceeds 40 gigabytes every 42 days. If this update does what it promises, it's going to save a ton of time and frustration for all of us players, making the whole update process a lot smoother. Fingers crossed. And that's everything we've got for now. If these leaks are anything to go by, version 2.2 and 2.3 are shaping up to be an absolute banger. Let me know what you think. Are you excited for Zani? How do you feel about Virtual Crisis? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and as always, stay tuned for more updates.